What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk about what a DNA test can tell you about your health. And when you have that information, you can actually rapidly accelerate your results in your muscle gain, fat loss, and overall health and performance. All right, guys, as we dive into this topic of DNA testing, we're gonna do three things. One, I wanna talk about how you can actually get DNA testing done, where to look for it, how to get it done, what the testing looks like. And then two, we're gonna talk about what that testing can actually tell us when it comes to your overall health, when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to longevity. We're gonna break that down. And then number three, we're gonna talk about what you can actually do with that information. Like if you find out that information, how do you actually implement it so that you can get better results? All right, first off, let's talk about what does DNA testing look like? How do they figure that out? Well, there's actually a couple of ways. Science has progressed a lot when it comes to all kinds of testing, that there's actually typically multiple methods that we can pull testing. Specifically when it comes to DNA, there's three main types of testing that we can do. There's blood, there's saliva, and there's hair follicles. If you're wanting to look into those, there's lots of locations that you can get it. You can search it, and there's plenty of test centers in your area that can find you something. There's actually test kits that certain companies will send in the mail. If you're not wanting to go through all that searching, if you'll just click the description below, I have a free resource that I'll actually give to you that walks you through some of that process, and will give you some information so you don't have to go compile and search the internet yourself. So click that description link if you want to check that out. But let's talk about why you would get DNA testing and what that does for you. Okay, so there's two main things that I want to focus on that DNA will really begin to tell you about your body. One is more future oriented, that's really just knowledge based so that you can have that as information. The other is more practical of how you can actually take this information and do something on a day-to-day basis. The first one is just what genetic predispositions do you have? Because of your family, because of your DNA, what's been given to you, there are certain diseases, there are certain issues, there are certain dysfunctions, or really good things as well, that has been passed to you. And that's just kind of a matter of fact when it comes to human production. Is our parents, our grandparents, our great-great-parents, they pass stuff down to us based off of their lifestyle factors and the genetics they were given. And it's just a chain that continues down to us. And so you, based off of your DNA, we're given a specific predisposition to some really good things and some really bad things. And so that DNA testing can actually tell you what things you have disposition towards. Maybe it's a predisposition towards cancer or diabetes or heart failure. Is that scary? Kind of, but it's also important that you should know that stuff so you know how you can counteract it. I'm a much bigger proponent of knowing about that stuff so I can do everything I can to fix it rather than just hoping it doesn't happen to me. This is coming from someone who's lost almost all of my family members from health-related complications, specifically heart failure. Because I know that my dad, my grandpa, all the men on my mom's side of the family all had heart failure and passed from it. I know that I have a genetic predisposition to that. And so I need to live my life in a certain way based off of that predisposition to help prevent and mitigate those risks. And so the knowledge that you can have from that DNA testing and from some other testing you can get as well really arms you with a game plan of how am I going to live my life so that I can optimize my longevity. This testing can also tell you, on the more fun side, what practical things you can do to optimize your body and your health and your longevity and energy. Because that DNA tells you a lot of data about how your body functions, what traits you were given, even just how your body processes work, you can actually do certain things to, dare I say, hack that a little bit to make sure that you're getting the most out of the vehicle you were given. I'm a big fan of taking data and using that data to maximize what I have available to me. So it's not just always a scary thing. I think when people look at DNA testing, they're like, oh no, I'm gonna find all this bad stuff about me. Maybe you do, which again, I'd rather know, but it also tells you how I should be working out, how I should be eating, how I should be supplementing my body, what things I should be doing sleep-wise, all so that I can optimize and maximize the body that I've been given. Seriously, like it's so powerful to know that, hey, my body responds really well to certain types of food, or my body responds really well to high intensity cardio versus low intensity cardio. And if you're someone that, again, wants to optimize for longevity and performance, it's really amazing to have that tool at your disposal. But even more importantly, knowing what food and what supplements to fuel your body with based off of maybe genetic mutations that you have or genetic predispositions you have are really valuable. Having your DNA tested is like entering a video game with all the cheat codes. If I know the pattern of up, down, left, right, A, B, whatever, it's a lot easier to win the game. It's the same thing with your health. The more data and information that I can get, and not just DNA, metabolic health, gut health, nutrient deficiencies, how your body processes certain foods, GI tract issues. The more information you get, the better that you can have the cheat codes to get better results. And so my biggest encouragement I want to get to you in this video, outside of just, hey, here's the importance of DNA, here's what it looks for, here's how you can find it, is to get testing done of all kinds. DNA is a great starting place, but I would also recommend getting your gut health tested, knowing how your body processes food, knowing how it processes nutrients, what you might be deficient in, getting your metabolism tested and your hormones tested so you know what issues are happening. Again, so that you might find some major issues that you can prevent them, or you can have the cheat codes to optimize this vehicle that you've been given. Another random side note before we wrap this video up and I give you some other free resources and how you can get this testing done is be careful with this testing. There's actually a bunch of Reddit support groups all over the internet of people who have gotten DNA testing done only to find out they're not related to their family. So if you're worried about that fact, maybe avoid getting testing done, or if you don't want to find out that you're related to a criminal or you're related to Hitler or something like that, maybe don't get the testing done. Or you could be on the other side like me, as I have adopted parents because of all the loss that I've gone through. I mentioned earlier, I've lost a lot of family members. It can actually be a really cool tool with things like 23andMe or Ancestry.com. There's a bunch of companies out there that will take your DNA and actually connect you to a family tree, which as I'm saying this, I'm talking myself into it. I think I'm gonna go order this afterwards to find out what family history, what genetic history do you have when it comes to like nationality and your family tree. It can be some really cool information. So if you're scared about finding out that you're related to a criminal, or you're adopted and you don't wanna know about it, maybe don't do it. Maybe stick to the ones that are very health specific based, or if you're like me and you're very curious now, that's another really cool thing that DNA can tell you. Awesome, so now you know not only how to get DNA testing done and what that looks like, what DNA tests for and why it's important, but you also know what you can actually do with that information. I want to give you one more practical step that's going to make this super easy. So you don't have to Google, you don't have to search, you don't have to go find a testing center, you don't have to figure out how do I take this information and put it into a diet or workouts. I'm going to just simplify and streamline that process for you with the free ebook that I've created. If you go in the description below, there's a link that is for a free ebook that will not only show you how to get the testing done, but it's also going to give you workout programs and nutrition programs that you can set up based off that information and based off of your body and your goals. Hope that's valuable. Go click the link in the description. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.